Chevrolet Corvette. The Chevrolet Corvette is the second generation of the Chevrolet Corvette sports car, produced by the Chevrolet division of General Motors for the 1963 through 1967 model years. Origin and development. The 1963 Stingray production car's lineage can be traced to two separate GM projects, the Q Corvette, and Bill Mitchell's racing Stingray. The Q Corvette exercise of 1957 envisioned a smaller, more advanced Corvette as a coupe-only model, boasting a rear transaxle, independent rear suspension, and four-wheel disc brakes, with the rear brakes mounted inboard. Exterior styling was purposeful, with peaked fenders, a long nose, and a short, bob tail. Meanwhile, Zora Arkus Duntov and other GM engineers had become fascinated with mid and rear engine designs. Duntov explored the mid/rear engine layout with the lightweight, open-wheel, single-seat Servi concept of 1959. A rear-engine Corvette was briefly considered during 1958-60, progressing as far as a full-scale mock-up designed around the Corvaire's entire rear-mounted power package, including its air-cooled flat six, as an alternative to the Corvette's usual water-cooled V8. By the fall of 1959, elements of the Q Corvette and the Stingray Special Racer would be incorporated into experimental Project XP720, which was the design program that led directly to the production 1963 Corvette Stingray. The XP720 sought to deliver improved passenger accommodation, more luggage space, and superior ride and handling over previous Corvettes. While Duntov was developing an innovative new chassis for the 1963 Corvette, designers were adapting and refining the basic look of the racing Stingray for the production model. A fully functional space buck, a wooden mock-up created to work out interior dimensions, was completed by early 1960. Production coupe styling was locked up for the most part by April, and the interior, instrument panel included, was in place by November. Only in the fall of 1960 did the designers turn their creative attention to a new version of the traditional Corvette convertible and, still later, its detachable hardtop. For the first time in the Corvette's history, wind tunnel testing influenced the final shape, as did practical matters like interior space, windshield curvatures, and tooling limitations. Both body styles were extensively evaluated as production-ready 3/8 scale models at the Caltech wind tunnel. The vehicle's inner structure received as much attention as the aerodynamics of its exterior. Fiberglass outer panels were retained, but the Stingray emerged with nearly twice as much steel support in its central structure as the 1958-62 Corvette. The resulting extra weight was balanced by a reduction in fiberglass thickness, so the finished product actually weighed a bit less than the old Roadster. Passenger room was as good as before despite the tighter wheelbase, and the reinforcing steel girder made the cockpit both stronger and safer. Design and engineering. The first ever production Corvette coupe sported a fastback body with a long hood and a raised wind split that ran the length of the roof and continued down the back on a pillar that bisected the rear window into right and left halves. The split backlight is usually attributed to Mitchell, who claimed to have been inspired by the 57 SC Bugatti Atlantique coupe. The feature actually predated both the C2 Corvette and Bob McLane's Q Corvette, having been used by Harley Earl on both his Oldsmobile Golden Rocket show car and his own more traditional design studies for the C2 Corvette, some of which had progressed to full-scale models. Earl's inspiration was said to have been an Alfa Romeo coupe with a body by Scaglione shown at the 1954 Turin Auto Show. A similar design would be used by the third-generation Buick Riviera that ran from 1971 to 1973. Quad headlamps were retained but newly hidden, the first American car so equipped since the 1942 DeSoto. The lamps were mounted in rotating housings that blended with the sharp-edged front end when closed. Hidden headlamps would be a feature of the Corvette until the C6 model debuted in 2005. Coupe doors were cut into the roof, which made entry/exit easier in such a low-slung closed car. Faux vents were located in the hood and on the coupe's rear pillars. Functional ones had been intended but were cancelled due to cost considerations.